All right, we're back with decoding a message, and this time we have the matrix A, the coding matrix. They didn't tell us A inverse. Okay, so we are going to need to find A inverse. Otherwise, we can't decode. Okay? But we can get started on making our coded message matrix. Since A is a 2 by 2, our coded message matrix needs to be a 2 by 2, starting with the top left corner, -116, list vertically, so 28 comes below it, and then -51, -37 goes in column 2. Remember again that this is our coded message matrix. We need to take A inverse times that guy to get back to the letters and see what our partner in crime wants us to know. So let's find A inverse. Because A is a 2 by 2, we can use our handy dandy formula. The 1 all over AD minus BC times our crazy matrix where D and A flip-flop, and we negate on the backswing, which means we're going to have 1 all over -5 times -4 minus -2 times 3. Remember, we're plug in to the fraction before we do the crazy matrix, where -4 and -5 flip-flop on the main diagonal, and we negate on the backswing. So the 3 becomes negative, and since the 2 is negative, it becomes positive. Plug in this fractional part in your calculator or doing the mental math. You should get 20 plus 6, which means we're looking at 1 all over 26 times our crazy matrix. We now have multiplication by a scalar, which means that we are going to multiply each of the numbers in our crazy matrix by that scalar and reduce to lowest terms for our fractions. If you're doing this in your calculator and you get decimals, convert back to a fraction. Do not use the decimals. Those round, they will mess up your answers. When you do the multiplication, when you get -4 over 26, it reduces to -2 over 13. 2 over 26 will become 1 over 13, working across the top row. -3 over 26 doesn't reduce, and neither does -5 over 26. We only had to find A inverse because they gave us matrix A, the coding matrix. Make sure you are paying attention to the question to figure out what they are giving you. If they are giving you A inverse, you can just use A inverse. If they're giving you A, the coding matrix, you have to find A inverse because we have to have A inverse times our coded message matrix in that order. Otherwise, you are not going to be able to figure out what your friend was trying to tell you. So we're going to take that A inverse, we're going to times it by our coded message matrix that we already found, that -116, then 28, -51, -37. We have a 2 by 2 times a 2 by 2, which means we're going to wind up with a 2 by 2. I know, shocker. But when we're doing this by hand in college algebra, we are going to take the lower order matrices. If you want to do higher level matrices or higher order, when you have like 8 rows, 8 columns, or you want to find the inverse of a 4 by 4, become a math major, take linear algebra. Okay, since we are doing 2 by 2 for our result. I'm going to go ahead and make my little work matrix. And I'm going to go ahead and label it. My rows are going to be in orange because they're coming from my orange matrix. So row 1's up top, row 2's down below. And then we have column 1 coming from the purple matrix and column 2 also coming from the purple matrix. Remember, we do this setup only to help with the multiplication that you have to show by hand. So row 1 gets us -2 over 13 times something plus 1 over 13 times something. But remember, the something comes from column 1 of our purple matrix, multiplying the first 2 and the second 2 together. So first parenthesis will be -116, second will be 28. Now that we're done with row 1 times column 1, we'll go to row 1 times column 2, the -2 over 13 and the 1 over 13 carry over. And this time in purple, we'll have -51 and -37. Now that we've finished row 1, let's attack row 2. We're going to have -3 over 26 times something plus -5 over 26 times again that's something. But remember, it's coming from column 1 of our purple. Or just remember that we are dropping the numbers down from the purple. And then we need to do row 2 times column 2. And -3 over 26 pops up again, times something, plus -5 over 26 times the something, which means we're going to have -5 over 26 times -51 and -5 over 26 times -37. This time when you do the multiplication in your calculators, not the multiplication, I should say the arithmetic, because you have multiplication and addition, everybody together. Top left corner, you should get 20. Underneath should be 8. And then 5 and 13. When you are trying to decode, all of your answers should be between 0 and 26. Because there are only 26 letters in the alphabet and we use 0 for space. So our message, if we take it out of the message matrix, starting with the top left corner, of course, we have 20 listing horizontally from the vertical. 8 comes next, and then 5, 13, and we need to convert back to our letters. So looking at the alphabet you have already listed with A equal to 1, B equal to 2, so forth and so on till Z is equal to 26, you should wind up with 20 being, oops, try that again. There we go. With 20 being T, 8 being H, 5 being E, and 13 is an M, which means our message is them.